Okay, so welcome to another rant video. Today I wanted to talk about, arrogance and being a dick as a guitarist, and also being too modest. These are two things that keep coming up, and it's just something I've been trying to vocalize and get out of my head. So if you guys take away anything from this, that will be lovely. But for me, it's just a bit of a verbal throw it out my mouth therapy. So let's start off with this guitarists being dicks thing. I've been talking a bit to Ben Eller and Tyler Larson over the last couple of years. You know, Ben from Why You Suck at Guitar and Tyler from Music is Win. And I find myself commenting on their videos and going, by the way, you know, sometimes I talk to that guy and he's actually a nice person. And there's kind of, like, the reason why I have to say that and defend it is there's this assumption that when you get to a certain level of talent that you become this hoity-toity dickbag that's difficult to talk to. And a lot of us musicians are... I would say relatively underconfident, shy in a lot of cases, anxious. Some of us are even, you know, quite depressed and confined to solitude. So a lot of us have come from this place of like retreating to your room to playing your instrument a lot due to not fitting in or coping with anxiety and all these other things. And then we come out the other side with a little bit of, emotional validation, but we're still kind of shy, humble people in some ways as well. So I think we need to throw this assumption out the window that, you know, when you get to a certain status of guitar, it's going to make you a dick. However, it's very, very possible for people, guitarists, I call them guys with acorn penises. It's just no shaft. It's just like an acorn and some testicles. A couple of years ago, one of my friends, I mentioned Liam, this has got nothing to do with pickup or the life coaching we talked about in the last video, but he had an interview over the phone with Yngwie Malmsteen, arguably one of the best guitarists on the planet right now and of our generation, at least until he expires. Freaking phenomenal player. So it's an over-the-phone interview, and Yngwie gets to the phone 45 minutes after my friend started ringing him, and he's like, "I'm sorry I'm late. I was polishing one of my many Ferraris." And halfway through the conversation, my friend's just getting this like, holy shit, this guy thinks he's larger than life thing. And I remember him saying to me something like, Yngwie's like, "I never get on stage without my Rolex." And it's like, why is it important that people need to know that you're rich? And that's kind of, I think he's really set the bar of assumption dickery of good guitarists that not all of us are abiding by. In fact, most of us aren't like that. And you will find that when people are really, really arrogant and cocky and they're putting that thing forward and you're just like, fuck, I don't like being around that guy, what's the deal? Or gal, most of the time it's men that are dicks, but anyway. I can't stand being around that guy and I don't know what it is. And you can kind of look past what talent they're bringing to the table, or maybe it might even be a lack thereof of talent that they're covering up. And it's a very, very easy defense mechanism to just see through and just for them not to have that belief in themselves and be, you know, a difficult twat to be around, or at least have some sort of entitlement due to the talent that they have. They think they deserve X amount of recognition. And I see that a lot in the Melbourne music scene. People who have been around the traps for 10, 15, 20 years think that the music scene owes them, you know, a certain amount of money and a certain amount of recognition. And, you know, yeah, mate, I played with this band and I've been around and toured and I've done this and I've worked with Axl Rose or whatever it is. And that just, it doesn't work. It doesn't make you more likable. It doesn't make you easy to work with. And you find a lot of these people never reach the peak of their success or even remote happiness having that outlook. So that's the dick side of things. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was this kind of modesty thing that's assumed of guitarists as well. So it's like you can't be talking to another friend about your band and music being like, yeah, you know, like my band's like, it's all right, we're pretty good, you know, like having that, it's kind of expected that you're going to have this modesty. It's I remember Kevin Guest was talking about it. You should definitely check out his channel, Mute Prophet, and he was saying, what's going to sell your music better for you to be like, well, you know, it's okay, or being like, this is the best thing I've ever written, you need to listen to this. And even if it's not the best thing that the other person's listened to, if you go in with that kind of confidence, it's going to work. So there is this difference between confidence and modesty. And I know a lot of amazing players. I've got a couple of people that I'm doing jams with at the moment. Dave Dunshire from the Fine Constant and Sarah Longfield, I did a jam with him. I'm doing a jam with Gary Potter, who runs PracticeTheGuitar.com. Both of these guys, absolutely phenomenal players, graduated Berkeley, far more, I would say, educated, in some cases more talented than I am. And these guys like, oh, you know, I'm still trying to find something that I like. And I'm sitting there going, you have all of this talent and you don't even know how awesome you are. You could like shit on a piece of bread and it would sound good. Like, just how? So I think there's guys on the other side of the spectrum who've got all this talent but have encouraged to just like be like, oh, you know, I'm all right. And that is going to stop you from, you know, getting your foot in some doors as well. And I think there's an expectation sometimes as well for us to be very, very modest. Anyway, if you have any thoughts on being a dick or being too modest or any of the other subjects that I touched on, leave a comment. We'll have a powwow. We might even have a part 2 very soon. Anyway, take care, guys.